condition or feeling experienced when a person perceives that demands exceed the personal and social resources the individual is able to mobilize. So most of us have lots of demands. We're carrying around all these balls, right? But then the key is, what personal and social resources do we have that could help us with this, right? We could delegate it to someone. We could put some of those balls away for a while we finish up the first 3 and get some more, that kind of thing. But the key is here, one, you have to know what personal and social resources you have, but you have to be able to mobilize them. Home renovation. So who's done a home renovation here? Anybody done a home renovation? Somebody tell me what's that like? What's a home renovation like? How do you feel?
Stress.
Very, very stressed, right? And so I had a lot of stress with all of these other things, but you couldn't tell me that I was not Superwoman. I couldn't do it all. But I'm also a little cheap and like to get everything on sale. And so I was doing a kitchen renovation, and IKEA was having a sale on their kitchen cabinets. I read all the reviews, and despite what you hear about all the other IKEA things, everyone's like, the kitchens last forever, 25-year warranty. And I'm like, it's 20% off, sign me up. So I go into IKEA, and anybody who's ever been in there, this is the experience. You walk in and you're not gonna know if you're gonna get out. So it was a very hot day in DC. And I actually like IKEA. Some people don't like it. It gives me inspiration because I have a little clutter problem. So it helps me kind of imagine what life would be like if I was one of those OCD people. So it makes me feel good. But that day I walked in, the day before the sale was over, because of course, too busy saving the world to really plan this out. And as soon as I walk in, I was like, where is the exit? Where's the exit? I just kind of like had this moment. I was like, where's the exit? And so then as I walked around with my little, my little bag, I was just like, excuse me, do you work here? Can you turn the air on? Because I'm really, really hot. I'm sweating. Ma'am, can you move your cart? Can you move your cart? It's just a little bit too close to me. So I was like, something weird is happening. I don't know what it is, but maybe I haven't eaten enough today, so how about I go to the food court, which is like somewhere in here in the middle. And there's a 10-year-old little boy standing in front of me trying to figure out what he wants to eat. They don't have very much, and mostly everybody's just there for the meatballs, so like, why, like, kid, get it together. And I'm standing there, and I had a thought. I was like, I feel 3 things. If this little boy does not move soon enough, I'm gonna push him. Or I'm going to pass out on this floor, or I just need to leave. So I exited IKEA, not very quickly, because I had to figure out how to get back through the maze. And then at that moment, I was like, something is wrong, but I don't know what it is. So we talked a little bit about earlier that once my doctor was like, hey, you need to go see a therapist, I go to my first therapy appointment, sitting in the chair, telling her everything I just told you all, like, oh my God, like I went to the hospital, blah, blah, blah. And she looks at me and she says, I'm gonna go to my Zoomers. Therapist looks at me and she says, you lack awareness. And I was like, ooh, who do you think you're talking to? You're supposed to be a therapist. Like, oh my God, that was not sympathetic at all. And so then her prescription for me is, come back in a week, but while you're gone, just hold the word awareness in your mind. And I'm like, what? Sorry if the LCSWs. I was just like, what? What do you mean hold the word awareness in my mind and then tell me what happened? I was just like, maybe this is why people don't go to therapy. But it worked. So I'm just walking around my life like, awareness, awareness. And I was just like, oh, I can't find my keys. Oh, I'm always late. Oh, the gas light is always on. Oh, sometimes I double book myself for meetings. Oh, I got so aware. And if anybody's been in therapy, you will know this. It gets worse before it gets better. Because now I was like, oh, I'm a hot mess. And yes, there's still all these external things that are troublemaking for me. But I think I'm part of the problem too. You don't say.